YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paul Harris, aka the Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead. Hit doggone subscribe button. Hit notification bell every time I post some new content. Now, before y'all go any further, y'all gonna purchase with the exception of the 81 subscribers that I now have on my channel, right? Anything outside of the 81, and then if you actually really have if it's any type of potential that you're actually really that you're actually really subscribed to my channel, then I'm not talking to y'all. But the rest of you bastards, yeah. Especially for those of y'all that got y'all own channel, yeah, it's finna be open season. Oh y'all, I'm not gonna sit up here and I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna put nobody out there, but I'm gonna tell you something. If you actually really talked about this man in a negative sense, then yeah, you the motherfuckers that I'm actually really coming after. And then I already know what the hell y'all gonna say. Y'all gonna look at me, and I'm just here to tell you: don't let this gray beard fool you, people. I will most definitely come see you. And just like and when I do come see you, guess what? You're not gonna like it. Now y'all can take it for what it is. Now, now that I got that out the way, right? I just got a question for everybody that's on Officer Tatum's case right now, right? I want to know if y'all can truly answer this question because I already know, I already know what the outcome is going to be, right? Especially if I go on some of y'all's channels and actually really figure out, know what it truly is that y'all actually really talking about. Yeah. So, so here's the deal. Here's the $64,000 question, people. What person or group of people died and left you motherfuckers in charge? As far as how a so-called black person, and then I'm not gonna sit up here, y'all see this, right? A so-called black person, but this is what the fuck that you calling me right now. You know, I'm black, but I got a black shirt on, right? So for the most part, how could you actually really tell the motherfucking difference, right? Red flag number one. That's all. That's all what it is, right? And then here's something else for you, right? Once y'all got hooked to this responsibility, right? Or let me actually really just bag up a little bit, you know. Well, actually, I really don't because I'm just like, okay, whoever this one person is, or whoever this group of people are, right? Nine times out of ten, whatever knowledge that they got was probably bullshit too, right? But then you looking at these people as okay, well, they know what the fuck they talking about as far as so-called black folks go. So you sat down like the child that you are, right? Or the fly that you are every time a dog will go out and take a shit, right? And then here you come as the fly on the shit, right? So guess what? Now you just as fucked up as there. But now you done got mad because the people, because that one person or that group of people, right? That they say, okay, well, you know what? If you're gonna be black, then you know you got to do this and not do that, and eat this and not eat that, and so on and so forth, right? But guess what? They wasn't gonna give that responsibility to you, motherfuckers, right? They was gonna give that shit to a whole different group of people. 9 times out of 10, but says, no, y'all gonna take it, right? And then y'all get on this man because of how he feel about certain things and certain people. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's some black folks that I can't stand, right? And just know some of them just happen to be in my motherfucking family, right? Hey man, so I don't want to hear nothing about okay, just because maybe one person to say something bad about so-called black folks, and then 9 times out of 10, all you motherfuckers walking around here thinking, calling yourselves African American, knowing damn well that you ain't, right? But y'all gonna get on this dude. Y'all gonna get on one person, right? And 9 times out of 10, once you get off your little podcast or whatever, the first thing that's probably flying out of your mouth is nigga this, nigga that, nigga the other, right? But so all what I'm saying is this, right? Look, until y'all actually really start talking about certain people, right? Actually like really stop and look at yourself. Go look at your, go look at yourself in the mirror like real good, and then ask yourself, well, who the fuck am I? And why am I actually really bashing this person, or the person either to my left, to my right, or in front of me? Why am I bashing these people so bad? Just because uh, they're actually really saying something that, for the most part, I have no courage to say myself. Right? It's almost like what Bernie Mac said in Kings of Comedy. He said, I say once again what you scared to say. Right? Meaning, right? If your motherfucking kids is bad, guess what? If you won't say it, he most definitely will. So for the most part, this is how I actually really look at this. Is for the most part, this is how I look at everybody on YouTube, right? I'm just like, okay, hey, look, you get on this platform, you say what you gotta say. Yes, of course, you probably gonna piss some people off, right? But they're just like y'all as so-called black folks and so-called African Americans, right? It's another guy that everybody getting on Stevie something that I forget what his name is, but y'all clowning him because of how bad he talking about black folks or so-called black folks. But then again, I got to ask the question: who died and left y'all motherfuckers in charge for y'all to be actually really talking about these two individuals, right? When 9 times out of 10, you doing the same shit yourself. Now the crazy uncle, I'm telling you something about the crazy uncle. Crazy uncle talk about every goddamn body. Crazy uncle don't give a fuck, right? Because everything with the fuck I'm telling y'all right now, guess what? When I cut this shit off, I'm gonna say the exact same shit, right? So I'm not here to put on no type of motherfucking facade or whatever the fuck that y'all actually really want to call it, right? So, so again, right? It's almost like what happened to me. Shit, about 5 years. It's been probably about 5 years now. Um, Shout out to my folk Hannibal and Monty. I can actually like really remember, the very first show that we all did, right? And so the whole thing about slavery came up, right? And so I'm just like, I gave my opinion on how I felt, how that shit went down back in the day, right? Because neither one of my grandparents nor my great grandparents mentioned anything about motherfucking so-called slavery. They didn't say nothing about getting off no damn boat. They didn't say nothing about white folks coming in at night, beating and knocking on doors, and they didn't say none of that shit, right? So for the most part, I I'm at this point of the juncture, right? I'm like, okay, of course, slavery didn't exist, or it didn't exist the way that it was told, right? So, so again, but and the thing about it, I wasn't the type of motherfucker to be like, okay, hey, look, yes, I'm gonna say this right here now. And then when I get on somebody else's podcast, I'm gonna say something totally completely different. No. I stuck to my guns. Now I will say that I will say this. I say, well, hey, guess what? I will go back and really relook at it again. Right? And then if my feelings change, right? Then we can come back on here. Then I can be like, okay, hey, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. Right? But that particular show never happened. But since I really been listening to Dan Calloway, right? And then on top of what on top of what I've always felt and what I've actually really seen firsthand from my family, right? I'm just like, okay, well, he just confirmed what I always thought about. So, put like this. Now, as far as like our Officer Tatum goes, put like this. If you out there and you saying one thing on your channel, right? And then when you get on somebody else's shit that you said something totally completely different, then then of course, yes, that's on you, right? But if the rest of the motherfuckers at the so-called, whether it's the motherfucking round table, square table, or however y'all do that shit, right? You know, uh, I really wouldn't be too fucked up about what nobody else say on what I have to say on my particular platform, right? Because even if you call yourself, because even if you call yourself trying to call out the crazy uncle, guess what? That shit is not gonna happen, right? Because guess what? If you're a dumb motherfucker now, and if I get to come on your podcast, guess what? You're gonna be a dumb motherfucker then, right? Leave these goddamn people alone, right? Because whatever it is, see, again, let's just say that Officer Tatum was the dog, the big healthy dog, right? Whether he Doberman Pinscher, German Shepherd, Saint Bernard, whatever, he a big healthy dog, right? And he took a shit in the backyard, his backyard, mind you, right? And then you, as the fly, it smelled so good, you had to come, you smelt it, right? And by its scent, you already knew it's going to be a big pile of it. So then what the hell did you do? You flew around, you saw it, you landed at it, you didn't think, put it like this, maybe he ate kibbles and bits and you used to eating gravy train. I mean, I don't know, but whatever it is, apparently you motherfuckers didn't like it. Now you want to talk about this guy, right? And y'all know who the fuck y'all are, right? But hey, that's my spiel. And so with that being said, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell big dad, tell big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa. Motherfucker next door across the street round the corner, Paul's Harris, aka Gray's uncle. I'll holler at y'all.